Section 1 no longer has to be the section you're afraid of. Hey everyone, my name is Rohan. I'm a student at the University of Sydney and head tutor at Rohan's GAMSAT for Section 1 and Section 2. And today I'm going to look at how you can do the same in Section 1. Now, when we're looking at Section 1, it's important to firstly think about what the section really is testing you about. So if we look at the title of the section, it's called Reasoning in Humanities and Social Sciences, which is actually quite similar to Section 3, which is titled Reasoning in Biological Sciences. Now, what we're looking at in Section 1 is a text, just like you have in Section 3. So it could be a non-fiction text, a fiction text, it could be a poem, a diagram, or even a cartoon. And you're going to get some multiple choice questions on that text, looking at themes, characters, plot, general understanding, and the perspective of the author or creator of the text as well. Now, what's really important to understand firstly, before we even look at some tangible tips and study strategies around Section 1, is what is the philosophy of Section 1? What is it asking you to do? Why does it exist? Because after all, who on earth needs to be able to read a poem or a fiction story and analyze it to do well as a doctor? Now, to be a successful doctor, and this is something that medical schools are looking for more and more these days, you need to be able to communicate. Now, when we look at communication, we can think about communication in two different ways. We can think about communication in terms of the person doing the communication, so the person speaking, and also the person listening or the person hearing and interpreting that communication. Now, it's that second type or that second form of communication that Section 1 specifically addresses you on. The first type is what Section 2 is all about, and I'll have a video coming out on that very, very shortly. But looking at how to interpret, how to understand something, essentially Section 1 becomes a test of your emotional intelligence, your EQ, and how you can read situations, how you can read the work of authors, cartoonists, and poets, and how you can understand what they're trying to communicate about a certain issue in the world. Now, understanding that is imperative, because if you don't put yourself in the shoes of ACED, who are marking these exams and who are writing these exams, you can't do well in these exams. So number one tip for today, understand that Section 1 is about listening, hearing, and interpreting. You need to be able to take in information, digest it, and interpret it for what's to come next. So the most common mistake that I see students making as a Section 1 tutor is using presumed knowledge or pre-existing biases to mold and affect their answers to questions. Now, the thing you got to remember is that ACED knows that you're not going to be an expert in philosophy, psychology, fiction extracts, or poetry. And so what they're sort of assessing you on is going to be there in the text that you've got. The biggest mistake you can make, therefore, is firstly becoming paralyzed or stuck in a question because you feel like you don't have the information or the tool set to work out a question. If you get a really dense text on philosophy or psychology that's really difficult to read, know that ACED is not expecting you to draw on pre-existing knowledge of philosophy and psychology. Now, that's something that really paralyzes students because they walk in, they see a text like that, and especially, most GAMSAT students that I teach at least are science background and don't have that well-versed background looking at these humanities texts. It turns into something where it is a question they could answer, but it's just, the text is so intimidating that it becomes really, really difficult. So when you walk into an exam, when you do a practice question, and you look at a text that looks difficult, know that ACED knows that you don't know this text. ACED knows you haven't read about Jean-Jacques Rousseau or Martin Heidegger or Aristotle. They're perfectly aware of that. What they're requiring you to do is look at a dense text, like they've given you. It could be a short paragraph, it could be a long text. And what they want you to do is to distill the key information, the key messages, perspectives that the author's trying to take, or key thematic concerns that are being explored, and answer questions based on that. So the first and most important takeaway from today is that everything you need to answer a Section 1 question is staring at you right there in the prompt right there. So don't leverage any pre-existing knowledge, which could also taint your perspective. If you're a super hyper capitalist and you get a text that's criticizing capitalism, that pre-existing knowledge about capitalism could really taint your ability to objectively look at a question and answer it. So put that aside, look at the text it's got, and just taking what you've got. If you're a doctor or a medical professional, you can't base a medical diagnosis or treatment plan based on what other patients have told you. You have to base it on the precise, unique conditions that have been given to you by the patient in front of you. And so that's what you need to do in Section 1 is ignore that, kind of pre-existing knowledge or that biases that you might be bringing into the exam. Put that aside and instead focus on what the text has and what you can dissect line by line, or where you can find evidence in the text for what you're trying to say. Okay, now for the second tip today, I want to talk a little bit about evidence. And no, I'm not talking about questions that are directly asking you for evidence that the author is using. I'm talking about your own study approach when you're answering questions. Now, this particularly applies to texts that are worded, so poems, non-fiction texts, fiction texts, or drama texts. And what you want to do is anytime you're answering a question, especially in your prep when you maybe have a bit more time, is to actually go back to the text and with your finger trace through, or with your cursor, where is the quote, the line, the part of this text that directly supports what I'm trying to answer here. One of the other big mistakes that students make is that they answer with their gut. So there's always, the oldest tale of time is, do I use my brain or do I use my gut? And when it comes to section 1, you always want to use your brain because it's your gut that is your leading instinct, which is rarely supported by evidence. But that's often what ACE is trying to catch you watch on. So you want to make sure that you're answering questions and you base it on evidence that you can find in the text. So if you want to say that a character is frightened, if you want to say a character is scared, can you find a line where the character has either disclaimed that, the character has shown that through their actions or their emotions? If you can't show that, it's probably something you're instinctively picking up, but not something that's directly sort of supported with the evidence in the text itself. So you want to make sure that you can support everything you're saying within the text. It's really easy to go off gut instinct, or it's really easy to just go off what we feel is right. But what's most important, as is with a doctor, is when you're making a diagnosis, you're prescribing medication, or you're giving a treatment plan to a patient, you're grounding it in some kind of evidence. You can't just diagnose a patient with a random pathology based off a gut instinct. It has to be based on certain indications, whether it be an ultrasound, a CT scan, or a general clinical checkup. Okay, and finally, the part that a lot of you guys have been waiting for, which is how do I study for section 1? Now, when I'm recording this video, it's about 2 months until the September 2024 sitting for section 1. And so 2 months is more than enough time to do some good solid prep. But for a lot of you guys watching this video, you might be sitting March 2025, March 2026, September 2025, whatever it may be. And you might be thinking, okay, I've got 4, 5, 6 months. How do I study for section 1? Now on the screen right now, I should have my section 1 question tracker on the screen, and that's a really great resource. I have it linked down below in the description for you guys to download for free. It's a really great resource for you guys to go in and actually plug in your numbers, plug in your details for all the questions you do in section 1. The key principle for section 1 prep and section 1 strategy here is to prioritize quality prep over quantity prep. So if you have 45 minutes spare to do some section 1, one approach is to just sit there and do 40 section 1 questions, go through, tick, cross, and just give yourself a score out of 40. The more sophisticated approach, the approach that's a bit harder to do, probably a bit more boring to do, but the one that's going to benefit you the absolute most, is the quality-based approach. And so what that might do is, instead of using 45 minutes to do 40 questions, you might instead do 20 questions in 45 minutes. But what you'll do with those 20 questions is, once you mark them, you go through your answers in quite a lot of detail, writing out some explanations as to why you got what you got wrong, why you got what you got correct, and why you missed the correct answer. The question tracker works completely in tandem with that approach, and so it allows you to add in text types, skill mistakes, mistake types as well, and add in some notes as well as to why you've gotten certain questions wrong. Now, the power of this tracker really comes in after you filled it out with maybe 100 or 200 questions, because then you can go onto the second tab, which should also be on the screen right now, and that second tab will have a lot of data and a lot of indications on what text types you're struggling on, and so then you can sort of use that data to help refine your approach. If you're really struggling with cartoons and poems, well then there's no point wasting half of your day studying non-fiction texts. You should do questions based on cartoons and poems. So this is a really targeted approach that will help you understand where your weaknesses are with section 1, and then specifically practice according to that principle. The last thing I want to talk about here is resources. How do we get questions? Now, without a doubt, the best questions you can get for section 1 are the ones that ACED sells directly. And of course, these can be quite expensive. So you might be looking at some more cheaper alternatives. And what I would say is the Des O'Neill papers that are readily available online, if you look hard enough, you should be able to find them. Those are really, really great resources. Beyond that, I would highly recommend a site called Read Theory. Read Theory is a completely free website, and what it does is it kind of automatically, with its AI, adjusts its difficulty of its text based on how you're doing. So if it gives you, say, a year 11 level of text and you're really struggling with it, it will bring it down to a year 9 level and slowly coach you up and improve your comprehension skills. So Read Theory is really great, as is the Des O'Neill papers, but the best resource outside, all those things that you can definitely use. It is expensive, it is paid. It's a questions directly from ACED, right? You want to do the practice questions that are coming directly from the people that are making the text itself. And that's it, folks. That's my quick spiel on how to do well in section 1. It's a big myth that you can't improve in section 1. It's it's something that gets touted along. You can do well in section 2, you can do well in section 3, but I'm here to assure you that section 1 scores can improve. I've seen my own student scores go up 10, 15 marks in just one sitting. You just need to know the right way to study and the right approach to study. Check out my website down below as well for some free blog articles and some more videos coming on this channel. If you've got any questions, drop them down in the comment section down below and I'll be sure to be active there. But otherwise, happy studying, happy GAMSAT. See you later, future docs.